Waiting, connecting. There we go.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Hey man, how are you going? James here. How are you, man?
I'm excellent, James. Thank you for doing this. I greatly appreciate it. Let me
My
move this
pleasure.
up a little bit.
My pleasure. How are things? And you're in Wisconsin.
We are in Wisconsin. I'm in just south of Green Bay, Wisconsin, actually.
Great. How are you getting on over there? You surviving, man?
Yeah, it's I'm glad I'm here and not in, New York or London or
Hmm.
in a crazy huge giant city because it's very easy to get away from everybody out here.
I suppose maybe in a small town you feel a little bit more space in a world that is it's a difficult moment in the world. It's a really difficult
So,
moment, and I'm sure like me, your heart's breaking for people, and it's
it
uh,
really
it's tough out there, isn't it?
It really truly is. You're in Scotland, or are you in Scotland right now?
I'm in Scotland. As we would describe, it's very dreich today, which just means grey and wet and fairly,
Here too.
fairly, fairly typical of Scottish summertime. Unfortunately, uh, this is the time when it rains the most for some reason. But yeah, we've been at home. I've actually today. I was covered in sawdust and rock wool up until about an hour ago. Um, I was spending today at the band's rehearsal room just trying to make some improvements.
Oh,
Make it a bit better sound insulated because we're on like a working farm, and I don't know if the farmer can take much more of it. I mean, he likes the songs and all, but I think after hearing them a million times, he's like, okay. But no, kind of trying to stay busy, man. It's still at that moment where the band's plans and touring plans, of course, have been like everybody else's, have been sort of upended. So,
mhm.
um, trying to keep busy, but do something productive, rather than just. There's only so many times you can cut the grass.
Yeah, I don't even get to do that. I have a landlord that does it.
Oh, jeez.
Um, but yeah, and that's just it. As long as you can find a way to keep busy. I know I was talking to another friend earlier who lives in a different part of the United States, and he was starting to feel it. What do we do? A musician, other musician friends I've talked to is like, we're supposed to be on the road, and I don't know how to handle that.
Hmm.
Um, Even people locally here that I know that are musicians, like we can't even go play bar shows. So it's tough, I think, to get around. And you guys are supposed to be out promoting a new record.
We are, yeah, we are. um, we were like a tightly coiled spring. We actually did like a week of rehearsals just as lockdown came, just to get ourselves ready. And the band was sounding great. We're so excited about the new record. So that's been a blow. But the thing is, we've still got the record. That hasn't gone anywhere. So we're still going to get to share that. Um, I mean, I think we all personally and collectively miss that connection with people. Even chatting away here to someone on the other side of the world is great. It feels
Yeah.
nice to have a little bit of contact. And my wife and my mother-in-law have heard all of my chats, so it's nice to talk to somebody else. But um, one thing I was thinking there about is had conversations before, maybe a month or two ago, about when things get back to normal. And I now feel quite certain that I don't want things to get back to normal. And I think the whole world is telling us that normal didn't work for so many people, and we
Right.
ain't going we ain't going back to what normal was before. And in a way, we're still in a moment of, well, not still. Hopefully it's difficult because it means we're going through a change, and any period of change is difficult, but that's what we need to do now. Not we're not going to spend half an hour here talking about the state of the world and politics. We can't do that. We will talk about music. But that's how I feel now. It's no longer looking out the window and thinking about how we get back to normal. It's looking out the window and thinking about what sort of a new normal might be. It certainly ain't going to be what it was before. We've got our fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's a
Anyway, let's talk about
great
some
point.
music, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Music is a way better conversation to have anyway, because I don't know
It's
about you, but I've gotten to the point where I've been avoiding stories on the internet, the news, all of it. I just can't handle it anymore.
I kind of come and go. I have the odd sort of few days where I've just got my head down. I'm being busy.
Mm.
And then I feel guilty because there are people in a difficult situation, and I don't know how me reading about it really changes their situation, but at least it's education in a way. Um, I've actually taken to listen to radio shows and radio stations of that talk about
Thanks.
no, no,
As a
I,
radio DJ, thank you.
I've always listened to it. I've always listened to the radio for music and for conversation and for company. But now I've started to listen to political views that I don't share. In a way, I say to my friends and family to figure out what the enemy's talking about, which is so crazy because I'm not personally in a war with anybody. But it's meant to be a moment of education, and I think you have to see other people's point of view to really educate yourself. And
Mm.
it's tough because I'm listening to these radio shows and tearing my hair out and going crazy. And some of the things that people are phoning in with
Oh,
are baffling to me. But it's part of that trying to understand other people's points of view, even if you disagree. You know.
yeah. And sometimes just smiling and nodding and moving on because you get to the point, and people are so passionate about things, right? I mean, it's whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's music. You know, people get so passionate about things. Yesterday, for example, I got to see my family for the first time in like 6 months, right?
Oh, sweet.
Father's Day. So in my family, my parents live in a couple acres green in the country.
Lovely.
And we all get out there and we're all in the garage or on the porch or whatever. Nobody's really inside a whole lot. And everybody's talking and having conversations. And of course, you know, my niece's husband is a federal marshal and they were on vacation. So they were up. They live in a different city. And my brother is an ex-Marine and runs a rescue service. So they have views one way, you know, and other people have views the other way. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
can we not? Can we just let's love each other. Let's play some
Yeah.
cards or
Yeah.
eat some sandwiches and just enjoy, you know, because I think that's what we need more of.
Absolutely. Ultimately, there should be more that connects us than pushes us apart. Even if we have vastly different views, nobody can be that different as people, surely. So we can find a resolution, a way to you know, it's funny to think about the music we've made in this record and some of the things Simon's talking about. It was all it's all been, you know, pre the current situation, if you like, if that's even possible to say. But songs about the way that society has lost compassion and lost tolerance for each other,
Mm-hmm.
and lost respect for people who have different views. And it's amazing how art and life and everything is so intertwined. And now it feels that the conversations we have about so many things in life pertain so directly to some of the lyrics and the feelings that Simon was having about a kind of really different matter, you know. So, you know, music, you know, now sort of thinking about music, it does can be a guiding light. It's obvious for me to say I've been in the band for 20 years. It's what I do. It's obviously been my guiding light. But for music fans, and as we are, you know, it has a different kind of meaning. It's not just what you do physically. It's sort of it's always there, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, music. Yeah, and that's the escapism of music, I think. So, with that being said, I mean, the themes on the new record, you know, with obviously being written a year or in some instances maybe even earlier before a lot of this stuff went down. Um, what does it feel like? Because obviously we have a couple songs out. In Instant History, we've been playing on Razor. So if you hear
Thank
from
you, thank you.
Razor, you've heard it. But what are some of the themes then that we're talking about on this record, or even musically? I mean, not even just lyrically.
Musically, it's an easy line to say. We've always wanted to take risks, and that's not obvious what that means really. Sometimes that means it pushes into not wanting to repeat ourselves too much. It Okay, going in circles here. We made a soundtrack movie last year, and it gave us so much freedom in the studio. You know, nobody from the label was really that interested. Nobody came round. In terms of the way we were writing the songs before the movie was made, we had that freedom, and it kind of reignited this feeling of taking risks and having fun, and maybe you're always going to take it seriously, but maybe try to make each other laugh. Like, have a
Hmm.
crazy idea and kind of get back to some of that, the youthful abandon that you can easily be lost when you're stressing over something. So that was a big part of informing the attitude for the music. Maybe not necessarily whether it was punk rock or it was metal, but certainly it gives a framework for our kind of mind, our mindset, and how the music should be produced and made and written, and that, yeah, like, you're only here once. Don't try and play to the shareholders. Don't try and make a record because it's safe.
Yeah.
Or the last one sold so many units. Let's do that again. Like that's the antithesis of what we do, of what we're trying to do, at least musically. You know.
For anyone that's watching this from the States specifically, obviously there's some hardcore Biffy fans on this. I can see them commenting, which is amazing. Um, I've joked around with bands from the United States about this before, about being so big in Europe but not necessarily here, and I think you guys, for whatever reason, is kind of the same, right? Biffy Clyro is a well-known name in a lot of parts of the world. Um, and in the United States, you guys just haven't had the same level, I guess, of success. Um, what do you think you would attest that to, as far as not, for whatever reason, not resonating as much here?
Um,
Because I want to change it, because I love you guys.
I mean, part of it could be me rabbling on in my accent and people not being able to explain it.
Oh, but that Scottish accent. Oh man.
We don't have the easiest name to explain. There's not a really satisfying answer to explain our name. Um, Also, I've wondered at times whether, because you've seen a lot of bands come to America from the UK and it's on their first single, their first album. I'm thinking a decade ago or more, like Franz Ferdinand, who all the guys had been in bands before. They weren't 21, but the band had an excitement and a new something new. Everyone's maybe especially in America, people like to get things when the band have just come out. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe people were like, "What, this band have had 3 albums out already?" Not interested. I don't know. The thing is, we do come to America and we do play shows, and they do feel successful to us. I'm not digging you out here. It is to a lot less people than in Europe. But if we get people at a show that love it, we're like, well,
That's
imagine we were 18 and we come to Green Bay, we're in Detroit, we're in Los Angeles. It's like, yeah, I want to come. If it's a 500 people, if it's 1,000 people, we're still, when? Let's go. um,
that's fantastic.
I mean, we would love it to be 2,000 or 5,000, but in terms of being able to put our finger on why that is, I think if we had the answer, we might try and fix it.
Well, the reason I started that question with some American bands having the same thing is because it seems from afar, and this is why I bring it up, because I'm not there. I'm here.
Sure.
Music seems to be more open. In Europe, I think specifically, where you can have an American band like Blackstone Cherry sell at the O2 Arena, um, but play for 800 people at a club here.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just using them as an example because I've had that conversation with them numerous times on microphone and off. But it seems to be a little bit more open to ideas and really sticking with artists. They're maybe a little bit more
Yeah,
fickle here.
yeah. That could be it. I think every country's a little different for hopefully. I mean, wouldn't it be dull if everywhere was the same?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Um,
true.
um,
I love this. Biffy does a massive show no matter the crowd. Yeah, there you go.
oh, look, that's sweet.
Thank you,
That is sweet.
I can't say here everything.
That's sweet. You know, it like the other side of it is we love, you know, we love. It's nice when people like your band. I mean, when the shows slightly get bigger, it's nice because more people want to come see you. You know, it's not like I don't want to, I don't want to be give you a false impression. You know, we love playing big shows, of course, but it doesn't mean that we ain't going to come and play if there's less people there. You know, that would
Yeah.
be it doesn't really fit with our way of thinking about things. You know, it never really has. It never has. We didn't burst onto the scene playing to 1,000 people a night. It was always quite hard earned, I think. So we're still willing to put in that hard work, you know.
I love the difference in sound though that Biffy Clyro offers. Like if I'm listening to my radio station, for example, on Razor, and I hear Howl or which we played or Instant History, which we're playing currently, uh, it sounds a little different than a lot of the more mainstream stuff, and I love that because
Oh,
there's a
cool.
little bit of difference to it. But I think it still works. It works within the vein of everything.
We're not that easy to. I think the people who've programmed the band or radio stations. I think it's like where to position our band has maybe been something that's difficult because we are quite all over the place as a band, and I think in the best possible way. Maybe some people find that difficult to pigeonhole us or to market it or something like that. But that is not really my concern.
No, and I love the fact that you guys have done it, man. You guys have stuck with obviously what you want to do as an artistic vision and music vision for what
Well,
this band is.
that's it. We'll go down with the burning ship, man.
Okay, so with the album coming out later this year, um, uh, the Blue Line. Talk to me about the Blue Line
So
because
the
we
lean,
had fun with this when we saw you guys in Las Vegas, or Simon specifically, um, in Las Vegas. In fact, the last time anybody was able to travel. Um,
yeah.
before the pandemic hit. No, we were even having fun with it. But talk to me about the Blue Line.
What's your take on the blue line? Have you got a theory?
I'm blocking out some sort of there. I have to believe there's a metaphor here that I'm missing.
It comes from the artwork from the record, and
Right.
it's really like dismissing part of history in a way. It's drawing a line across parts of
Okay.
history that you want to blur out. You know, at the moment the discussion is about ripping down statues that celebrate parts of history that not that we want to forget, but that we want to learn from and move forward. It's not about forgetting these things. And in much the same way with the lyrics and the themes in the album, it's not about rubbishing every part of history, even the bad parts of history. It's about learning from them and trying not to repeat them. You can't just sort of close the door, but we are just putting a line right through it and saying it's gone. It's sort of instant history. It's over, and that's sort of my take on it, at least.
Okay.
That it's and I don't know if you've seen the artwork, but it is that blue line right across the face of the figure, and it's a historical figure. Who that figure is doesn't really matter, but it's some historical figure who has obviously been painted in the 17th, 18th century, and is therefore held aloft. As rich people often are. But we're saying no. We're just putting a line right through it, and how's that? That couldn't be sort of more applicable to the situation we're in, like right today. It's quite kind of
It
freaky.
really is. It really truly is.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Listen, if anybody has, because we have about 10 minutes, so if anybody has any questions that they want to ask,
Please,
please type
that's
it
a good opportunity to say hello to everybody. Thanks for tuning in, James. How hopeful are you that the October tour will go ahead? Um, always hopeful, always hopeful. This is um, about as hopeful as you are. Hopeful's a difficult word because I'm full of hope. How confident I am is a different matter. I don't know anything that you don't really, or that anyone else does. Um, so the only thing that's safe to say is watch this space, and we'll keep everybody as updated as and when we can. I think it would be foolish to try and predict exactly what's going to happen, but if you're watching this, you know this band, and as soon as we can come and play, we will be. Hi, James, are you coming to Colombia? Of course, we hope to. We hope
Here,
to go anywhere.
let me pull this one out because there's a couple
Sure.
questions that are the same. What song are you most excited for us to hear on the new album? Which you can couple obviously with what's your favorite song on the new record.
Um, it's Cop Syrup. Cop Syrup is the song that I want people to hear. I think it's going to mess with people's minds a little bit.
All right.
Usually you want to describe things. I'm not going to describe this song, and when you finally hear it, you'll work out why I didn't try to put that song into words.
One more time, the name of that song, because I'm
It's
gonna mark this down.
it's Cop Syrup.
Okay.
Cap Syrup.
Cap syrup. Is it like when we were kids and you try to get a little buzz off this cough syrup and never mind. That was just us. They're all fucking fire. I love that.
That's Mario. That's Mario, our good friend who worked on the record. So
Oh, there you go.
he knows it. He knows that to be true. Hi, Mario. Hope you're well.
That's awesome. Let's see, Instant History is out now. Do you have any idea of what a time frame is for a possible another single? I don't even know the release date of the record, to be honest.
Um,
I don't know if anybody does. Does anybody?
yeah, I've got a date in my mind. And that date I've been given is, I think, August 15th. Although
Okay.
I'm tempted to say it might suddenly jumped into my head that it might be 14. So if I say 14, then people won't miss it, I suppose. Let's say the 14th or the 15th. I
Whatever that
think
Friday is in the United States.
I think the August 14th. I think the singles maybe get a little bit out of sync when it's the UK or the States or elsewhere in the world. So I'm not sure as and when the next single comes in the States. If you guys keep playing Instant History on the radio, then you have to keep waiting.
That's a double-edged sword, man. I want to hear more
It's,
new songs, but at the
I
same
know.
time, I love this
Well,
song and I want more people to hear it. So
just play. We'll send you a new song, and you can just play both. You know. There's loads of great songs. There's loads of great songs that I think work well on the radio. So there'll definitely be more coming your way.
what's your favorite old school Biffy song? Like if you were to take something out of the catalog that you just go, you know what? I gotta play that song. I gotta play that song. I love listening back to it.
Um, I'd probably go with "Living Is a Problem" from
Okay.
Puzzle. First song off our fourth album. Big moment for the band. It's in so many ways, making that onto a new record company. I think more importantly, what was happening personally in the band at that moment with Simon losing his mother, and the response to that musically is really just arresting. When I think about it objectively, it kind of makes my heart miss a beat a little bit. It's really like it's kind of heartbreaking in a way thinking about it, and but musically it's so ambitious, and it speaks of a band just having just sort of really coming into life. I don't know. It's I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it really. But "Living Is a Problem" would be the song that I think if you hadn't heard anything from our band, that would be definitely one of the first ones that I kind of ran to play to somebody.
What's the BCA? A couple people just said the BCA voted that as their favorite song.
I'm on the BCA. I don't know.
I'm asking you.
I know they're asking me. I'm on the BCA. Someone will let us know. I'm too silly. I'm too stupid. I can't think.
Biffy Clyro administration.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Let's see. Dave says, "Do you get? Hold on, it went away. Do you get a bigger kick when people love a stereotypical Biff song, or when a song that's way outside of the box resonates more?" Well, that's interesting. So, in
Yeah.
other words, do you get excited when a fan is excited about How or Instant History or something like that, something bigger single, or something a little bit more weird?
It, so if you get somebody now who picks a really weird song, that always is double cool. You're always like, cool, good, you know,
Yeah.
really know this guy, this gal really knows what they're talking about. But if you're in like a taxi or something and somebody mentions a song they've heard on the radio, and it's maybe an older person or somebody who is it pains to say to you, I mean, I don't usually listen to that sort of rubbish. In a way, that has another nice effect because that person was never meant to listen to your band, you know.
Yeah.
If so, that's also quite a cool thing as well. Um, when it's somebody quite unlikely, you know, it's like it's obviously cool when it's like some dude with a 7-string guitar that knows the B side, you know, that sort of thing. But
Some
I
dude
think,
with a 7-string guitar.
I don't, but as I think I've gotten a little bit older, I've maybe appreciated when it's somebody from a different sort of walk of life or a different type of music fan.
Mm-hmm. You said you were keeping busy with obviously building up new rehearsal space or making that a little bit more soundproof and all that stuff. Uh, what else? I mean, have you guys been? So many people randomly have started writing. Um, you know, randomly kind of started doing acoustic projects, just whatever else. Have you guys done anything like that, or have you talked about going? You know what? Hey, maybe there's another record in us. Maybe there's a one-off thing that we want to try to do because we have the time.
Yes, absolutely. All of that thing. You know, but we've been doing a fair amount. Simon's been doing some streaming gigs. He did that sort of right at the start of lockdown. He did about 8 weeks of that, which was really nice. We've done some other little projects when we've been recording.
The one he did with Dave. I'm just going to say this real quick. The one he did with Dave Grohl and that whole come around of that streaming performance was incredible.
That was good. That was a fun thing to be involved in.
Yeah,
All recording our parts at home individually, and
yeah, that was awesome.
we've done other similar performances for TV here in the UK when we've filmed stuff. We've got some other plans which are so far away from just going into the oven that it would be really foolish to start telling you what they are.
I get it.
There are lots of creative ways we're seeing of trying to do some sort of streaming and performances and things. Yes, we're going to be doing some stuff. We're just trying to figure out what it is. I love these sort of drive-in gigs that are coming up. That people have been doing, like going to like a drive-in cinema.
That's I don't know how I feel about that one yet.
Yeah, I'm sort of the same. I think it's great. I don't know if it's great for our band. I think people might be like start just maybe airbags going off left, right, and centre.
Instead of a mosh pit, it's a demolition derby. It's
Well,
fine.
exactly. But as for the concept, I'm all up for it. I'm all up for, you know, like I say about. I used to say until we get back to normal, but I'm not prepared to say that anymore because I don't really think we should get back to the way things were. But if I were to say normal in terms of going to gigs and that sort of thing, it's probably a little ways off being totally normal. So I'm all for whatever people can do to any creative ways of keeping people engaged and entertained and that sort of thing. So again, it's another one of those crap answers, but sort of watch this space. We're definitely not going to do a streaming thing and not let everyone know about it or whatever it is, you know, something like that. So if we do something, it's for you guys. So we'll certainly let you know.
We'll be watching for it, man.
Good, I hope so.
Fingers crossed, August 14th on the new Biffy Clyro album. Obviously, once that's confirmed, we'll let everybody know too. Obviously, as will you guys. And crank up Instant History as the single right now, anywhere you can, man.
Well, and thank you for playing it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. James from Biffy Clyro, thank you for the time today. I appreciate you.
It's been my pleasure. Really nice to talk to you. It's nice to make a friend, and I hope you guys stay safe out there wherever you are. And maybe we'll come see you next time we're in your neck of the woods, man.
You too. Can I come to Scotland and come see you guys?
You're welcome, man. We're not full.
Wanted to so bad.
We're not full. As long as you can put up with this weather that I keep looking out the window hoping it's going to change, but I don't know if it is.
The upper Midwest of the United States. I'm a couple hours from Canada. Really, I mean, it's okay.
It's probably quite similar. I think you do quite well here in Scotland. So anytime, you're welcome. Anytime you can be our guest.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it, man. Take care of yourself.
Lovely. Take care. All the best.
Okay. Bye bye.
See you, Mario.